Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. My name is Crown, and today I'm going to read you some very interesting stories that I hope that you're gonna love. And now, without further ado, let's go! What's up, fellas? My name is Jake, and I'm a wedding photographer. Let me tell you about this wild experience I had a while back. It all started when I received an inquiry from a couple named Karen and Todd. They seemed nice enough at first, but little did I know they were about to become the ultimate choosing beggars. So Karen and Todd reached out to me, all excited about their upcoming wedding. They mentioned they loved my portfolio and wanted to hire me for a full-day photo shoot. We arranged a meeting at a cozy cafe, and there they were, all smiles and sipping their fancy coffees. They complimented my work again, which was nice. But then Karen started dropping some hints about getting a special deal for their wedding coverage. She mentioned that Todd's cousin's friend's sister was willing to do it for half the price, but they preferred me. Gee, thanks for the compliment, but I have bills to pay too, you know? Trying to be accommodating, I offered them a small discount, but that only seemed to fuel their entitlement. Karen looked at me with that smirk and asked, "Can we get it for free? Think of all the exposure you'll get." I chuckled, thinking she was joking, but oh boy, she wasn't. Obviously, I refused, told him that this is not how it works and that we, photographers, have bills to pay to, just like everyone else. After my initial refusal to do the wedding photography for free, Karen and Todd's demeanor shifted drastically. The smiles vanished, then Karen said, "Oh, so you're not willing to do this for us? Do you have any idea who we are?" "I'm sorry, but I can't afford to work for free," I replied calmly. And that's when Todd chimed in. "You do know we have a considerable social media following, right? Our negative posts and reviews can seriously damage your business." As he uttered those words, I saw a malicious glint in their eyes. It became apparent that they weren't just looking for a good deal. They were aiming to exploit their influence to strong-arm me into submission. Now I won't lie, the thought of negative posts and reviews flooding my social media accounts was intimidating. As a small business owner, I rely heavily on positive feedback and word-of-mouth referrals. I'll admit though that I might have missed a little detail on purpose earlier. You see, before I went to meet them to discuss their request, I received a message from a fellow photographer. When she got wind that they had reached out to me, she decided to pick up the phone and warn me about Karen and Todd, saying that they had a reputation for threatening photographers into doing free sessions. "Be careful," she said. "They have tried this with multiple photographers before they got to you." Well, that was all the information I needed. Armed with this knowledge, I devised a plan to turn the tables on them. On the day of the meeting, I made sure my camera was set up discreetly, camouflaged by my bag on a coffee table, recording the whole ordeal. I greeted them with a smile, but inside, my heart was racing with anticipation. I knew this was a risky move, but I wanted to put a stop to their tyranny. So following my plan, I decided to play along and make them believe that I would give in to their request for a free session. I replied to their threats with an air of hesitation. "You know what? Fine. Let's discuss this further, and maybe we can work something out." Karen and Todd exchanged smug looks, thinking that they had me exactly where they wanted. Karen smirked. "So, have you finally come to your senses? Are you willing to give us a free session now?" I pretended to contemplate for a moment and then said, "Yes, I've thought it over and I'll do it for free, but I want to make sure we're on the same page about the terms. In exchange for the free session, I would like you to sign a written agreement that you won't post any negative reviews or post about me or my business. This way, we both have some assurance that there won't be any issues in the future." Todd seemed hesitant, but Karen was quick to accept. Fast forward to the big day, I arrived at the venue with a video coordinator Ryan by my side, as I learned that they have done the same thing to him as they did to me. When I explained to him what I was up to, he was down with it 100%, and we meticulously planned our move, and the time had come to set the wheels in motion. As the festivities kicked off, Karen and Todd were all smiles, completely unaware of the storm that was about to hit their perfect day. I kept my cool and played the part of the friendly photographer, capturing moments that would soon become unforgettable. During the reception, when the time was just right, I approached the couple with a friendly demeanor, ready to strike. "Hey guys, I just wanted to say how excited I am to capture these beautiful memories for you." Karen smirked back. "Well, it's the least you can do, isn't it?" "Oh, I think you'll find that the best is yet to come," I replied. With that, I subtly handed Brian a nod, signaling him to start playing the video. The projector displayed the video of Karen and Todd at the cafe, making their demands and threats. Gasps filled the hall as the guests realized what was happening. The couple's faces turned pale, and their attempts to defend themselves fell flat. People started murmuring, and some of the guests began to leave the wedding in disgust. "What is this? How dare you?" Karen shouted, trying to regain control of the situation. But it was too late. The video had exposed their true colors, and there was no going back. I calmly replied, "Well, this is what happens when you try to manipulate and blackmail people. Your guests deserve to know the truth." As Karen and Todd struggled to save face, the atmosphere at the wedding had changed dramatically. The once joyful celebration was tainted by their entitled behavior. With the truth out in the open, I turned my attention back to my camera and focused on capturing genuine moments of their shock and horror. As the night came to a close, Karen and Todd were left to deal with the storm they had been hit with. The damage to their reputation was irreparable, and their wedding day had turned into a cautionary tale. The moral of the story? Always stand your ground and never underestimate the power of a well-executed plan. Alright everyone, let me tell you about the craziest day I ever had at the gym. I've been hitting the gym regularly for a couple of years now. I love keeping fit, and the gym has become my second home. But I sure had no clue whatsoever that this one fateful day will go down in our gym's history as the day Karen got knocked out. It all started like any other regular day at the gym. The place was buzzing with energy. I grabbed my water bottle, put on my favorite workout playlist, and began my warm-up routine. As I made my way to the bench press, I noticed a new face. A lady who seemed like she owned the place, but not in a good way. You know the type. She was loudly grunting as she attempted a set of squats. But it wasn't her grunting that caught my attention. It was the fact that she was guarding the weights and dumbbells like they were her precious possessions. Every time someone approached to use one, she'd scowl and say, "Don't you dare touch those! I'm still using them between sets." I rolled my eyes but decided not to engage with her. I found a nearby bench to do my presses and started my workout. But Miss Entitled didn't stop there. Oh no, she had her sights set on me, the muscular guy using her pinch. Didn't know she's holding two pinches as hostages at the same time. As I began my bench presses, she stormed over. With a nasty scowl on her face, she said, "Excuse me," she yelled, making everyone nearby turn their heads. "I was using that bench. You need to wait for me to finish." I didn't really want any trouble, so I replied, "Sorry, but there are plenty of other benches available. I'll be done in a few minutes, and you can use it then." "Unbelievable," she huffed, crossing her arms over her chest. "You people think you can just take whatever you want? I pay for this gym membership, you know?" Trying to keep my cool, I told her again, "I'll be done in a moment, ma'am. Just give me a few more minutes. Plus, it seems that you already have one bench at your disposal over there. Why are you berating me over this one over here?" She gave me a nasty look as if I said the weirdest thing ever, then said, "First, it's none of your business, and second, I do different types of exercises on each bench." As I heard this, I couldn't help but mutter, "What the hell? That's just nonsense." But she wasn't having it. By the way, I forgot to mention that I had my girlfriend with me at the gym, doing her workout plan as well for the day. And let me tell you, my girlfriend is someone you wouldn't really want to mess with. And I could tell she was getting increasingly agitated by the way Karen was treating people. As the entitled lady kept bothering people including me, my girlfriend walked up to her and said calmly, "Hey, why don't you chill out? We're all here to work out and share the equipment." The Karen wasn't about to back down though. She glared at my girlfriend and snapped, "This doesn't concern you. Mind your own business." My girlfriend took a deep breath, clearly trying to keep her composure, and said, "It's everyone's business when you're making a scene and ruining the gym's atmosphere. Let's just get back to our workouts, okay?" Karen seemed to ignore my girlfriend completely and decided to walk up to me while I'm flat on my back doing my bench presses. She picked up the heaviest dumbbell she could lift up and threatened me, saying, "If you don't stop right now and walk away from my bench, I'll drop that dumbbell at your freaking face, you hear me?" I couldn't believe what I was hearing. That was the last straw for me and clearly many others nearby. No one should ever threaten someone else at the gym or anywhere else for that matter. The atmosphere had turned tense and everyone was on edge. As Karen raised the dumbbell threateningly, my girlfriend sprang into action. In a flash, she grabbed the dumbbell from Karen's hand and knocked it to the side, safely away from anyone. Then with a swift, powerful punch, she delivered the knockout blow to the side of her head, and Karen crumbled to the floor unconscious. I got up and stood there dumbfounded, watching as Karen lay on the ground. My girlfriend stood over her, arms folded with an expression of anger on her face. It didn't take long for the gym staff to arrive along with a few concerned members who had witnessed the altercation. The gym manager called the police to sort things out and check the security footage. When the cops arrived, they took statements from several witnesses, including me, and I explained what had happened and how Karen had been behaving rudely and threateningly before getting knocked out. The security footage backed up our stories, clearly showing Karen's aggressive behavior. As they waited for the ambulance to arrive, my girlfriend looked at me and smiled. "I'm really sorry I had to witness that. It's just I can't stand bullies and entitled people ruining everyone's lives like this." I nodded, still amazed by how she handled the situation. "No need to apologize. You did what you had to. And honestly, it was kind of impressive." The police gathered enough evidence and testimonies to take action, and Karen was taken away in an ambulance. Clearly, she had brought it upon herself by being so entitled and also aggressive. I mean, you can't just threaten someone that you drop a dumbbell on their head like that. Because if someone were to drop a heavy dumbbell on another person while they were performing exercises like the bench press I was doing, the potential for serious injuries is significant. A dumbbell falling from a height could cause fractures, broken bones, or even concussions, depending on the impact and the individual's position. Any injury to the head and neck region can be life-threatening. It could literally lead to traumatic brain injuries, spinal cord injuries, and other life-altering complications. In my opinion, the gym is a place where people come to better themselves physically and mentally, and everyone deserves to feel safe and supported. Threatening or engaging in violent behavior not only endangers others but also goes against the very spirit of the gym community. At least, that's what I believe in. Anyways, the rest of the day at the gym went smoothly, with everyone focusing on their workouts and sharing the equipment like usual. People chatted about the incident, but mostly they were in awe of my girlfriend's swift reaction to put an end to Karen's entitled behavior. As for Karen, I heard she got banned from the gym after the incident, and I decided to press charges against her for threatening my life the way she did. As the legal process unfolded, Karen was charged with assault, making criminal threats, and disorderly conduct. The evidence against her was strong, including the security footage capturing the entire incident. It was clear that she had acted aggressively and recklessly, putting lives at risk. During the trial, Karen's defense tried to downplay her actions, claiming she was only venting her frustration and didn't mean any harm. However, the testimonies and security footage painted a different picture. Her threatening gestures and aggressive behavior left no doubt about her intent to harm. As a result of the trial, Karen was sentenced to 3 years in prison and mandatory counseling for anger management. Clearly, the judge took into account the severity of the threats. After all, it was a serious offense. The dumbbell in this setting was considered as a deadly weapon. As for me, I am so glad that I'm on the good side of my girlfriend. That one is surely a keeper. And this story will serve as a reminder to not piss her off ever. So a bit of backstory. I didn't actually witness this event, but one of my primary school teachers, Mr. Donnelly, told the class this. Now I'm just going to say that even up until this point, even when I'm in secondary school, He was the greatest teacher I ever had. I'll keep this part brief, but I have nothing but praise for him. One day he was giving us a lesson on how important and strong determination is. He said he used to work in a school in Dublin, Ireland's capital city, and how he once taught a class that was mostly made up of migrants. This will be important later. Now Ireland has 3 national sports: handball, hurling, and Gaelic football. Gaelic football is the one that's relevant to the story, but I'd highly recommend checking each of them out. Now Gaelic football combines the elements of multiple sports such as soccer, basketball, rugby, and so on, even though it was created long before any of them. Over 3,000 years ago, in fact. Some of the basic rules are there are 15 players on a team. The goals are like rugby goals but with a net, and you score by either kicking the ball over the crossbar and between the posts for 1 point or into the net for 3 points. Whichever team has the most points by the end of 70 minutes will win. There are a lot more rules, but they are not relevant to the story. One day he decided to sign them up for the primary school football, and it's a primary school Gaelic football tournament. Now most of these lads have had little to no experience in Gaelic football. When he tried to teach it to them, it took them weeks to even fully grasp all the basic rules. But you know what they say, if you wait outside the barber's long enough, you'll eventually get a haircut. And they eventually understood it and got a team lined out. Now onto the story. So after much blood, sweat and tears, probably not true, they reached the semifinals where they will be playing a posh, arrogant team from South Dublin. They trained a lot, and although ability-wise they were nowhere near their opponents, Gaelic football is one of those sports where ability can only take you so far. When the day finally came, they boarded the bus to play the game. Now the game was fairly even, but around 20 minutes in, the entitled parents, they were all bad in this case, from the posh team started throwing racial slurs all around. Mr. Donnelly didn't say what they were, so that should give you a fairly good idea of what they were saying. At halftime, the posh team were about 2 or 3 points ahead. After a quick team talk, Mr. Donnelly went over to the posh team's coach and said, "Without blinking, you tell your supporters to behave, or my lads will put yours in their place." The manager said nothing. Right before the second half started, one of the migrants, who was so muscular, Mr. Donnelly had to bring his passport to each game to prove he was 12 and not about 15, said fully serious, "Sir, after this match I am going to flatten him." And what did Mr. Donnelly say? Make sure you do. When the match ended, they had actually done it. They had actually managed to scrape it by a point. And true to the strong lad's words, as soon as the final whistle blew, he hit his marker so hard he probably had a black eye for about a week. And this was a team where if one man hit or got hit, they would also hit. To make a long story short, they were close to putting the entire team in hospital. And what did the first hitter do? He went up to the racist parents and said, "How about that, you jerks?" More racial slurs were thrown, followed by a punch to the stomach to the one he was nearest to. He was about to go in for the kill, not literally, before he was eventually stopped. As they went back on a bus which was halted for 5 minutes due to the entitled parents creating a blockage in protest, they were halfway home before the guards, the police, pulled them over. And who stepped on the bus but the referee, who congratulated them for standing up to the entitled parents and asked them to try to hold their temper in future. Amazingly, despite only starting the sport a few months ago, they managed to win the whole thing through pure desire and determination. And now we have reached the end of today's stories. Thank you for watching and see you next time.